spooky feeling that you're on the right path in life. Let me tell you a couple of, before we get too much more in depth into the unseen world, I want to give you kind of what I've been doing all these years since we last talked. I started out, as you know, from previous interviews that we have done doing UFOs and alien abduction. And I started out with the United States UFO Information and Research Center, which evolved into the Alternate Reality Center, which encompasses a great many other things. We do not only close encounter type experience research, but we also do Bigfoot encounters now. Since I last talked to you those many years ago, I actually saw one of those creatures less than 30 feet away from me in broad daylight.
You're kidding.
And there was absolutely no mistaking this creature, no misidentification. And this, for me, I was a person who had not read anything about the subject. I was not a believer. I was not a disbeliever. I was a complete agnostic on the subject. I really just did not have an interest in it. And when I saw this creature, for 5 years, I would not even tell even my closest friends about this because I thought people would think I was absolutely crazy. And when I did come out with this, I called the radio station, and we did an interview in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I told thousands of people about this, and we had all kinds of calls come into the Sightings and Information Hotline at the Research Center, which had been devoted solely to UFO sightings, close encounters, and with these strange craft as well as their occupants. And that research, by the way, we now have ghost and history tours. We also do Bigfoot adventures. We're the only ongoing Bigfoot adventure tour offered to the general public in North America now, if not the world. And beginning in 2015, we have a new offering with our family of tours that you can find on our website at AppalachianGhostWalks.com, which will be the world's first UFO bus tours. And we're not talking about stories of nocturnal lights. We're talking about close encounter type reports that will raise every hair on your body as they bristle at some of the resounding notes that you will hear in some of those recounts of personal experiences that people have had, and talking about my own personal experiences as well as those of others as we take you to those locations and even show you trace landing sites where craft have landed, and it's going to be a first as far as I know anywhere on the planet.
Are these going to be day tours? Are they going to be weekend tours? How long are these tours going to be, Stacey?
The great thing about our website, if you there's over 1,500 pages that you can explore there that elaborate on not just a single evening experience, but although we do the lantern-led tours at night, which is our signature product, but we do have these up to 9-day vacations that people can do where you visit we actually take you in and through the mansions, museums, historic sites, and caves from Knoxville, Tennessee, all the way to Marion, Virginia, encompassing the entire southern Appalachian region and more than 15 different locations region-wide. And you stay in a 4-diamond AAA hotel, and we put you up there at a discount and in an all-suite hotel, and do your pick up and drop off at all of your for all your locations each day. So it's like going on a cruise. You don't even have to worry about driving, and you leave with the same tank of gas you had when you got here.
Stacey, tell me why, in your opinion, now you've been doing this a number of years, why, in your opinion, do people still have such a keen interest in ghosts?
It is simply for a very simple reason that this is about the human experience, and the reason that I continue to offer these tours, I don't do them for the money. I do this for what it means to people, and that is to present to people through the findings of our research substance to the faith that hopefully we all share, that when this body stops working, it is not the end of you. So these tours, presented in a positive yet spooky way that brings Scripture to life from the King James Version of the Bible in a way that doesn't oppose your faith, but actually strengthens it. it is an amazing way to be able to integrate your interests and not feel like you're abandoning your faith in the process.
You know, in my opinion, the Bible is one of the most filled books with paranormal events that has ever been written.
It really is,
yeah.
And when I talk to people about this, one of the things that really turns their heads around is the fact that we do this from a Christian perspective. Mm-hmm. And people always ask me, how can you talk about ghosts and the word Christ in the same sentence? And I look at these people and I say, well, the biggest scripture that ministers will give to me to justify the belief that there are no such thing as ghosts is the fact that Paul said to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I look at these people and say to them, is he not with you now? Because he said, lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. So why on earth would a person of faith, and Paul defined faith as the substance of things, hope for the evidence of things not seen? Why would you ever question whether or not he's there? And why would you need to die to know it if you believe it?
How true. Stacey, stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. X-Zone Nation, Stacey Allen McGee is my very special guest this hour. www.appalachianghostwalks.com, and for the Alternate Realities Center, www.alternaterealitiescenter.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. By the way, Stacey, where you are is one of the most beautiful parts of the United States that I've ever had the pleasure of driving through. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Hi, this is Rob McConnell, just letting you know that the X-Chronicles newspaper is now available online at www.xzonebookclub.com. All past editions and current editions of the X-Chronicles newspaper are available for 99 cents. That's www.xzonebookclub.com, and that's 99 cents U.S. per edition. And don't forget, the X-Zone store is now open as well for all of your X-Zone Nation merchandise. www.thexzonestore.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled LITE.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
www.appalachianghostwalks.com is the website if you'd like to find out more about the Appalachian Ghost Walks. And if you'd like to contact the Alternate Reality Center, their website is www.alternaterealitiescenter.com. Stacey Allen McGee is my very special guest. Had the pleasure of having Stacey on the show a number of years ago. It's been way too long. Welcome back, Stacey. Let me ask you, Stacey, is there a connection between Bigfoot and UFO sightings?
That's a good question. A lot of people ask us about the connection between the two quite a bit. Yes, I think, in my opinion, there is, and I think I've identified what that is. In my working in physics, and I've studied astrophysics, quantum physics, and theoretical physics since the age of 12. I'm now 44 years old, so I've spent 32 years of my life reading everything I can get my hands on those subjects. And so I could sit down and read a manuscript written by Stephen Hawking or Roger Penrose like it was yesterday's newspaper. But when it comes to understanding the unseen world, whether you're dealing with ghosts or Bigfoot or UFOs, all of these things, the reason I started to bring these under one paranormal umbrella, if you will, through the Alternate Reality Center, is that I began to realize just how much they do have in common. And what we're talking about here is interdimensional shifting or alternate realities, if you will, that have been postulated in quantum physics and seem to be, every time that we get new information from the particle accelerators, we're proving over and over and over again that string theory seems to be the way, the true nature of the universe. And we're starting to realize that we have a very complicated method of creation that cannot be possibly due to just chaotic intervention. This has to be something under intelligent design. And you go down deeper and deeper, and the real question becomes, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Because we find that everything around us is basically made up of wisdom, of knowledge, and energy, and it's all held together under these nuclear forces that some might call, I believe, the will of God. Now, the reason I mentioned that is because we have one thing that's in common with all three of those subjects, ghosts, UFOs, and Bigfoot, and that seems to be an interdimensional nature to the creatures and also to the world in which they seem to coexist in the same space, just on possibly a different frequency than ours. Our cameras seem to be able, we can point those up to the sky in daylight sightings here in the area, and I can take pictures and I can get saucers in my photographs, actual physical craft that are not there when you look with the naked eye, but how the camera seems to pick them up.
Is
in the same places.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
And then there's another, and that might seem to explain how Billy Meyer's photos were taken, and seem to rather defy all explanation to this day. Apparently, he got really good at that. The other thing is that when you take you're doing these photographs and we get these UFOs, typically we're in places where Bigfoot sightings and encounters are taking place, and I think there might be a connection for the simple fact that the extraterrestrials or these high technology individuals that are flying these craft, whether they're from the future or whether they're from another plane of existence or another planet, we just don't, really no one really knows for sure. But wherever they're from, I believe they have the technology to monitor these shifting interdimensional doorways, and I think it grabs their attention. And I think when this creature comes into our reality and goes out very quickly, as has been, and there's much evidence testifying to this through Native American legend and stories and oral history, where you will follow these creatures through a snowy field and the footprints disappear as you follow. They seem to just shift out of our reality. So finding a Bigfoot, or let alone killing or wounding a Bigfoot, I think people will find it very difficult, if not impossible, to do. They seem to know how to get in and out of our reality very quickly.
Hypothetically, if in fact the visitors that some are so fortunate to see, are